Welcome to Cancelled. Chapter 23. Perfect Height. Evie. 2 minutes later, La Jolla, California. I step inside and everything else falls away for a second. The air feels different here, cooler, fresher, touched by the ocean like it's casually claiming ownership of the space. Because, wow. Cruz's apartment is open and sprawling, like it was designed to show off the ocean first and everything else second. Floor-to-ceiling glass lines the entire back wall, framing the waves in a way that doesn't feel real. A full-length balcony stretches across the entire space, almost daring me to just walk straight outside and forget whatever this night was supposed to be. The kitchen and living room are merged into one massive great room, all light hardwood floors and crisp white walls, punctuated by bold, vibrant artwork. Nothing minimalist, nothing cold, everything alive with color, warmth, and somehow energy. The place is nothing like I expected. No sharp, impersonal edges, no sleek, all-black decor screaming, "Important businessman lives here." Instead, it's comfortable, bright, expensive, sure, but lived in. A place with personality. I turn to Cruz. Okay, first of all, this place is deceptively huge. And second, those pillows? Cruz grins, leaning one shoulder against the counter with that casual confidence that makes my stomach flip.
Bought the 2 units next to me, combined them into one.
I blink, trying to process the level of wealth that allows someone to casually buy and renovate multiple oceanfront units. Casual.
My sisters live next door, did the same thing. Took both units, made them one.
He says this like it's the most normal thing in the world. I nod slowly, still processing the sheer scale of his life. So basically, this is a family fortress. Cruz snorts with amusement.
Something like that.
I turn back to the room, scanning it again, absorbing the ocean view, the art, the space that probably costs more per month than I make in a year. Then it clicks, and I turn back to him, eyes narrowing slightly. Wait a minute. Cat dog? Cruz laughs, shaking his head like he's been waiting for this question.
Long story.
I cross my arms, leaning against the counter, genuinely curious now. I got time. Cruz steps into the kitchen, flicks on the built-in griddle on his wolf stove, and lets out a low chuckle.
All right, but you asked for this.
He grabs ingredients, casually assembling things like this isn't the most chaotic animal history lesson I'm going to hear.
So my sisters rescued him in TJ.
He says, and I can already tell this is going to be good. Like Tijuana? I ask.
Yep, they found him on the street, took him home. My dad does not like dogs.
Cruz shakes his head, checking the heat on the griddle.
So they had a plan. They walked in, held him up, and said, "Look at our new cat."
I choke on my water. They thought that would work? Cruz grins, clearly enjoying my reaction.
About 10 seconds. Dad took one look and said, "Get that cat dog out of my house."
I lose it completely. Cat dog? And the name just stuck?
Cat dog.
He confirms, and I'm fully cackling now, leaning against the counter for support. Oh my God, and now he's yours? I ask, glancing down at the little fur ball who's currently curled up on one of the suspiciously identical pillows. Cruz shrugs, grabbing what looks like marinating chicken from the fridge.
My sisters begged me to take him until they got a place of their own. But that didn't happen for a few years. And when they finally did get their own place, I decided he was my dog and not theirs.
Honestly, iconic origin story. He should have a movie, I say, grinning as I watch Cruz move around the kitchen with easy confidence. Cruz laughs, and for the first time tonight, I feel something unexpected. Ease.
Tell that to my dad.
Cruz hands me a margarita that is unfairly perfect. Fresh lime, the right amount of tahini on the rim, and just strong enough to make me question my life choices. This man is dangerous. And by dangerous, I mean he clearly knows exactly what he's doing. He says, flipping something on the griddle like this whole night isn't throwing me off balance.
Sit, relax.
But relaxing? Yeah, no. Instead of sitting like a normal, functioning adult, I bypass the bar stools entirely and climb onto the island like an unhinged kitchen goblin. Cruz barely reacts, like this is just expected behavior at this point.
Of all the seating options in this place,
He starts. I cut him off. I sip my drink. Shh. I'm here for the show. He shakes his head, he's smiling, and I'm struck by how domestic this feels. How natural it is to watch him cook while I perch on his counter like I belong here. Where'd you learn to cook? I ask, watching as he flips a tortilla like he does this every day.
my grandmother's house in Mexico City.
He says, effortlessly tossing diced onions onto a sizzling pan.
Spent most of my summers there growing up. She taught me everything I know.
The conversation flows easily as he cooks, and I find myself relaxing into the moment. But then something shifts in the air between us. Cruz steps closer, moving between my legs to reach for something behind me. And suddenly the playful atmosphere becomes charged with electricity. He doesn't step back. Instead, he braces his hands on either side of me on the counter, caging me in with his body. The heat radiating from him is intoxicating. He looks up at me. His eyes are dark with something that pulls every thought from my head.
You know, I think I like you better up here. Perfect height.
My heart starts hammering as he steps closer, pressing himself between my thighs. I can feel everything. The solid warmth of his chest, the way his breathing has changed, the unmistakable evidence of his arousal pressing against my center through our clothes. The contact sends liquid fire shooting through my veins. His name lands heavy in the space between us, half plea, half warning. Cruz. His hands move to my thighs, thumbs tracing small circles against the denim.
Tell me to stop.
He murmurs, but his voice suggests that's the last thing he wants me to say. Instead of answering, I let my legs fall open wider, inviting him closer. His reaction is instant. A low, guttural sound as he presses into me, the friction stealing our composure. He's going to kiss me. I can see it in his eyes, feel it in the way he's leaning in. When the sharp chime of FaceTime cuts through the moment like a knife. I jolt, heart thundering, gaze dragging over his shoulder to the iPad propped on the counter. The screen lights up with an incoming call. Demi. And worse, Cruz's contact photo shows him grinning with two impossibly gorgeous brunettes. My blood goes cold. Everything in me lurches downward. Every insecurity I've ever had about not being enough rises up like a tidal wave and crashes down on me all at once. Who's Demi? I manage, and my voice comes out sharp, brittle, jealous. Cruz follows my gaze to the iPad, and when he looks back at me, there's a slow, satisfied smirk spreading across his face. Like my obvious jealousy is exactly what he was hoping for.
Jealous?
He asks, voice rough with amusement and arousal. I snap, trying to cling to some dignity despite the fact that he's still pressed against me. I asked you a question. His smirk only widens. He doesn't step back, doesn't ease up. If anything, he leans closer, invading every inch of air I thought belonged to me.
Should I answer it?
He teases, reaching casually for the iPad without breaking eye contact. Cruz, I warn. But there's no real authority in my voice because I'm too distracted by the way he's looking at me. He swipes to connect the call. The kitchen explodes with female voices, shouting, cheering, laughing so loudly I flinch.
We won! We won!
Cruz grins, still pressed against me, and I can feel his amusement vibrating through his chest.
Yeah, I heard.
It takes me a second longer than it should to realize what's happening. My jealous brain too busy catastrophizing to process the obvious. And then it clicks like a light bulb finally turning on. Brielle, Demi, Adler. The Adler twins. The gorgeous, infamous tennis doubles champions who always land themselves in some kind of trouble in the tabloids. I stare at the iPad like it betrayed me personally. They're his sisters? I feel like an absolute idiot for assuming the worst. Cruz is watching my face carefully, clearly enjoying my realization.
Still jealous?
He murmurs, low enough that the iPad won't pick it up. Before I can answer, one of them pauses mid-celebration.
Wait, who's the woman?
Cruz frowns, clearly confused.
What woman?
Then a new voice enters the chat. One that is distinctly older and definitely maternal.
Cruz has a woman at his place?
I freeze completely, realizing I'm about to be discovered like some kind of romantic criminal, still trapped between Cruz's body and the counter. Cruz growls something barely audible, finally stepping back enough to give me space to think.
Brielle, don't start.
I'm not starting. I'm observing.
Brielle replies with the energy of someone who lives for this kind of drama.
You guys need hobbies.
Cruz says, fighting a smile. Brielle sounds way too smug for someone calling from another country.
Don't lie. I can see her reflection in the chrome behind you, Cruz.
Cruz huffs in defeat, clearly realizing he's been caught. Then tilts the iPad so they can see both of us. I wave weakly, trying not to look like I just lived through multiple emotional spirals. The older voice, their mother, I realize, hums thoughtfully.
Oh, she's pretty.
My thoughts stutter at the unexpected compliment from a woman I've never met. She continues, and I can hear the smile in her voice.
It must be serious if he introduced her to Cat Dog.
Cruz hastily ends the call and I stare at him, still processing everything while very aware that we were interrupted in an extremely compromising position. I say, trying to regain some composure. Your sisters. He confirms, stepping back between my legs like the interruption never happened.
My sisters. Still want to know if you're jealous?
And your mother, I add, dazed.
And my mother.
His mouth curves, hungry again.
Still want to tell me you weren't jealous?
The heat creeps all the way up my neck. I wasn't jealous,
Liar.
he says softly, hands sliding back to my thighs, thumbs making lazy, maddening circles.
I like you jealous. It's sexy.
You're impossible, I say softly, the words laced with everything I shouldn't feel, but I don't push him away.
And you're beautiful when you're trying not to admit you want me.
He counters, leaning in closer until his lips are almost touching mine again. This time, when he kisses me, there are no interruptions.